considering silver for your savings and retirement accounts, here is an amazing offer from Lear Capital. Now you can receive $200, $500, up to $2,000 worth of these all-new silver Snowy Owl coins free with a qualifying purchase. The Snowy Owl is made from the finest silver of any coin in the world. Its popular 1.5-ounce size makes it both valuable and affordable. And because it comes with a government guarantee, it's IRA eligible. With the price of silver so low, now is the perfect time to stop considering silver and own it. Call Lear Capital at 1-800-769-8500 and see how you can earn up to $2,000 worth of silver Snowy Owl coins free with a qualifying purchase. Plus, the first 50 callers receive this exclusive report, Sky High Silver. See what's driving demand and why it could send silver prices soaring. Call 1-800-769-8500. 1-800-769-8500.
I want to get a bar put in over there. Do you know any good contractors?
Yeah, I might.
Nice! Give me a bunch of quotes, check the reviews, and do a background check on each of them.
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything HomeAdvisor can. So just ask HomeAdvisor.
Watch the horn! Okay.
What you don't see can hurt you. If you just monitor your credit, you can miss some identity theft threats. LifeLock sees more to help protect you. Starting at $9.99 a month.
This is a story about mail and packages, and it's also a story about people. And while we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, we never forget that your business is our business. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
One of America's greatest cover-ups. Chappaquiddick is tense, scrupulous, suspenseful.
A dead body holds a lot of secrets.
And edge-of-your-seat absorbing.
This family perseveres. We have a true compass and we follow it.
Chappaquiddick, rated PG-13, in theaters Friday.
I used to love going out early in the morning with my watering can and clippers to enjoy my garden. Now things have changed. My angel helps me stay active and continue to do the things I enjoy at home.
I love to bring a smile to her face and know that I'm making a difference when she needs it most.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
Patrick woke up with a sore back, but he's got work to do. So he took a leave this morning. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now.
That's Border Patrol agents' job. It's our job to actually determine whether or not somebody is here in the United States legally. What they do for us is they free up our resources. If you look at this multi-billion-dollar industry, what the smugglers and the cartels do is they cross these asylum seekers, if you will, across the border illegally instead of through the ports of entry. And what that does is that ties our hands, because we then have to respond. We have to take those individuals into custody. It takes manpower out of the field, and it leaves gaps in the border, which then allows the smugglers to run their higher profit products through the border, like opioids, drugs, and other contraband. And so the smugglers know exactly what they're doing, and they're using these asylum seekers as pawns. That's why we have to do something to secure the border so that we have an orderly immigration process. And without that, we're going to continue to talk about this year after year after year, and it's always going to be a topic of presidential campaigns. And
I think, you know, the president is unique in that he is not averse to tying trade agreements and other economic discussions to the issues of the security of the border. And my guess is that you're going to see a response from Mexico that says, let's work together in some way on this. So we will see. We will see. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Good to have both of you with us tonight.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
So Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein giving Robert Mueller the thumbs up to dig into Paul Manafort's business dealings that happened a long time before he joined the Trump campaign. So what about the scope of this investigation? We've learned quite a bit about that tonight. We'll bring it to you. Ed Henry joins me in a moment to answer some of those big questions that have arisen today. Coming up next. Also, President Trump says that he wants to pull our troops out of Syria. General Jack Keane says we should not repeat the mistake of President Obama that led to the proliferation of ISIS in Iraq and Libya.
I want to get out. I want to bring our troops back home. I want to start rebuilding our nation.
With Esurance photo claims, you could have money for repairs within a day.
Wow, that was really fast.
So it doesn't have to hurt for long. That's insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
We're finally back out in our yard, but so are they.
The triple threat of dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and weak-thin grass. Introducing the all-new Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. This single-step breakthrough changes everything. It kills weeds, prevents crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feeds so grass can thrive, all guaranteed. Only from Scott's.
Our backyard is back.
This is a Scott's yard.
If your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's symptoms are holding you back, and your current treatment hasn't worked well enough, it may be time for a change. Ask your doctor about Entyvio, the only biologic developed and approved just for UC and Crohn's. Entyvio works at the site of inflammation in the GI tract and is clinically proven to help many patients achieve both symptom relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. This condition has not been reported with Entyvio. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. If your UC or Crohn's treatment isn't working for you, ask your gastroenterologist about Entyvio. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
There are plenty of good booking sites, but your ideal hotel may only be listed on one, or several, but for very different prices. You really want to check them all? Instead, use Trivago to compare these offers and find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Nick was born to move. 3 toddlers won't stop him, and neither will lower back pain. Because at a Dr. Scholl's kiosk, he got a recommendation for a custom-fit orthotic to relieve his foot, knee, or lower back pain from being on his feet. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Carp Depot Spring Clearance Sale is going on now. Why pay more? Pay less. Choose 3 rooms of Berber carpet or 3 rooms of plush carpet, just $5.99. Or 3 rooms of our new pet-proof carpet, just $7.99. We'll even laminate any room, just $6.99. It's your choice. Plus, free measuring, free padding, free installation, free shop-at-home service. Call now, 516-731-1324. Visit our 5 showrooms or carpdepotinc.com.
We're the only hospital on Long Island to be recognized as one of America's 100 best hospitals for orthopedic surgery by Health Grades. Awarded 5 stars for total hip and knee replacement surgery. And named among the top 5% in the nation for patient safety 2 years in a row. We're South Nassau Communities Hospital. We're in Oceanside, serving Queens to Suffolk. For more information, visit southnassaw.org/ortho or call 866-32-ORTHO.
There's nobody been tougher on Russia. And with that being said, I think I could have a very good relationship with President Putin. I think. And remember this, getting along with Russia is a good thing.
President Trump standing firmly with 3 Eastern European allies at the White House today in a tableau that could really only be interpreted by Russia as a sign of real solidarity between these countries and the United States right on Russia's border. Leaders from Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, nations that were once part of the Soviet Union, but now long independent Baltic states, determined to stay that way. Today, in a message no doubt watched by Russia, they professed their strong connection to the United States.
Today, we stand together, like-minded partners and allies.
We are standing with and together, and we hope that, as President said, next 100 years will be even better.
The United States of America is our closest friend and ally.
Here now, General Jack Keane, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War and Fox News senior strategic analyst. So if Vladimir Putin, General, is watching that in his office at the Kremlin, what do you think his reaction is?
Well, first of all, he knows for a fact that President Trump has strengthened the NATO alliance. President Trump
is absolutely backing the Eastern European countries. Putin is conducting massive information and political warfare against these countries. He's hitting them with cyber every single day. He's trying to arouse the Russian minorities, create a situation where he has to go in there like he did with Crimea. We're all over this.
I mean, I think it can't be understated that actions speak louder than words. The president has said he believes he could have a good relationship with Vladimir Putin, and yet he stands there with these three countries who, you know, Putin would love to find a way to get back under the Mother Russia title.
Yeah, I got a theory about that. It's interesting because we are pushing back on Russia and confronting them more than his predecessor did for 8 years under President Trump. That's actually happening. But he is conspicuous in his silence in not criticizing Putin for anything. So what's really going on? I think he's itching to get in the room with Putin. He knows he's a thug. He knows he's a bully. He knows he's ambitious. He's aggressive. He knows that Russia's becoming more capable and more dangerous. He knows he's manipulated world leaders to include his three predecessors. He wants in that room with him.
Yeah,
and he knows how to deal with guys like this.
I think you're exactly right. I want to talk to you about Syria. Here's the president on Syria. And also, right after that, our envoy, Brett McGurk, they sound like they're singing slightly different tunes here. Watch.
As far as Syria is concerned, our primary mission in terms of that was getting rid of ISIS. We've almost completed that task, and we'll be making a decision very quickly. I want to get out. I want to bring our troops back home. I want to start rebuilding our nation. Sometimes it's time to come back home.
We are in Syria to fight ISIS. That is our mission. And that mission isn't over, and we're going to complete that mission.
What do you think?
Well, McGurk is right. The mission isn't over. There's 3,000 fighters between Iraq and Syria. The ISIS leadership is in the southeastern part of Syria along the Euphrates River Valley. We've got to clean all of that out. And even then, when we finally do that, we have to recognize that winning the conflict is not sufficient. You have to win the peace after that. That's what Obama walked away from. Bush won the war in Iraq. Obama lost the peace. The same thing in Libya. We deposed Gaddafi. The new regime came in, elected by its people, wanted some help to deal with the radicals. We said no. We lost the whole country. We're out of there. We lost our embassy, and it's a failed state. You've got to be willing to work the peace after the conflict. And I'm hoping the president gets some advice from his new national security advisor to that effect.
You know, you have to wonder what the president said right after that was directed at Saudi Arabia, which makes me wonder, you know, you've seen these meetings between the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He's now in the United States. He's out on the West Coast. He's spent a lot of time here, a lot of time with the president, and Saudi Arabia was the president's first stop. He said today that if you want us to help you with Syria, you're going to have to pay up. And some people said, you know, that's not the way it works. But what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I know for a fact that the deal was made that Saudi Arabia would give the United States $4 billion to participate in the recovery effort in Syria. That has not happened. So we got to call out the Saudis on this. The president's absolutely right. Listen, that's one of the great things that he has done. Why is the United States the only bill payer here? In NATO, in other places. The other participants have got to ante up. And this is their neighborhood. This is where all this hell is going on in their neighborhood. So they've got to pay some of the price tag to help these countries recover. And I think he's dead right about that.
So if you've got this changing dynamic where you have the Gulf states led by Saudi Arabia, the United States and Israel on one side of the fence, and then you've got the leadership in Syria and Iran on the other side of the fence, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states are going to say, whoa, 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 we don't want you to leave. Don't leave Syria because this is part of the deal, right? And they're going to have to pay up.
He's actually already said that to the president. They don't want him to leave.
General, thank you. Always good to see you. So coming up, well-known columnist Tom Friedman says that he thinks that former Presidents Bush and Obama are actually waiting in the wings to fix the country after the coming constitutional crisis of the Trump administration. Watch this.
Barack Obama and George W. Bush have both been staying out of the political fray, despite all the attacks on them from Trump, is because they understand they're going to have to come together in the face of this constitutional crisis.
Aha, so that's what's happening. We're going to get reaction from former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski to that. And from the Hill, new authors from South Carolina, Congressman Trey Gowdy and Senator Tim Scott, join me next.
As a control enthusiast, I'm all business when I travel. even when I travel for leisure. So I go national, where I can choose any available upgrade in the aisle without starting any conversations or paying any upcharges. What can I say? Control suits me. Go national. Go like a pro.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when this guy got a flat tire in the middle of the night, so he got home safe.
Yeah, my dad says their insurance doesn't have that. What?
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Help control cravings and lose weight with Contrave. It's FDA approved to help adults who are overweight or struggle with obesity lose weight and keep it off. Contrave is believed to work on 2 areas of the brain, your hunger center.
I'm so hungry.
And your reward system.
Ice cream. French fries.
To help control cravings. One ingredient in Contrave may increase suicidal thoughts or actions in some children, teens, and young adults in the first few months. Serious side effects are mood changes like depression and mania, seizures, increased blood pressure or heart rate, liver damage, glaucoma, allergic reactions, and hypoglycemia. Not for patients with uncontrolled blood pressure, seizure history, anorexia, bulimia, drug or alcohol withdrawal, on bupropion, opioids, MAOIs, allergy to the ingredients, or pregnant. May cause nausea, constipation, headache, and vomiting. Reduce hunger, help control cravings with Contrave. Now you can talk to a doctor online and get free shipping at getcontravenow.com.
Booking a flight at the last minute doesn't have to be expensive. Just go to Priceline. It's the best place to book a flight a few days before my trip and still save up to 40%. Just tap and go. For the best savings on flights, go to Priceline.
Guys, how frustrating is it to find a great pair of jeans? They never have the right color, style, or size. Too tight here, too loose there, too long here. I have the perfect solution for you. M. Taylor Custom Jeans. Stop spending hours trying stuff on. Download the free M. Taylor app on iOS or Android. Standard jeans use just 2 measurements. M. Taylor Custom Jeans use 7 different measurements to give you the perfect fit. Design your own custom jeans for just $79. Choose from hundreds of styles. Delivered right to your door. Download the M. Taylor app. M. Taylor measures you digitally and is 20% more accurate than a professional tailor, all from home.
It was so easy to be measured by M. Taylor. It took less than 30 seconds. This is definitely my favorite pair of jeans. They fit perfectly.
To get custom jeans, shirts, or suits, your phone can measure you right now with free shipping and a money-back guarantee at just $79. Get your new favorite pair of jeans today. M. Taylor, available now on the Apple App Store, Android, and mtaylor.com.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else. Why accept it from your allergy pills? Flonase relieves your worst symptoms, including nasal congestion, which most pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1. Flonase.
One of America's greatest cover-ups. Chappaquiddick is tense, scrupulous, suspenseful.
A dead body holds a lot of secrets.
And edge-of-your-seat absorbing.
This family perseveres. We have a true compass, and we follow it.
Chappaquiddick, rated PG-13, in theaters Friday.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7 at Channel 115.
So a just revealed memo, Deputy Attorney Rod Rosenstein gives the okay to the special counsel Robert Mueller to dig into a period in Paul Manafort's business dealings that occurred long before he became Donald Trump's campaign manager. This, as this lawyer becomes the first person to be sentenced to time behind bars as a result of the Russia investigation broadly, although the charge is lying to the FBI. It's not collusion. We're going to get reaction from Congressman Trey Gowdy and Senator Tim Scott, and some more from them and all that in just a moment. But first, Ed Henry at the White House tracking all of the latest with all of this tonight. Hi, Ed.
Martha, great to see you. The first look we're getting at this memo that was buried deep in a 57-page court filing by Robert Mueller. It was submitted by the special counsel, showing that his authority was widened to cover a lot more than just Paul Manafort's alleged coordination with Russian officials. Specifically, this may give President Trump more fodder for his criticism that this investigation has gotten too far in its scope. The bottom line is specifically Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein authorized Mueller to investigate any crimes related to payments that Manafort received from the government of a Ukrainian president who served from 2010 to 2014. So not in Russia and long before the Trump campaign was in business. That news came as we saw the first sentencing In the probe today, 33-year-old Dutch attorney Alex van der Swan sentenced for lying to federal investigators. That carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. But the attorney, whose father-in-law is a Russian oligarch with ties to President Vladimir Putin, got 30 days in prison, a $20,000 fine, and 2 months of supervised release. He worked with Rick Gates, who's a former business partner, of course, of Manafort, and is now cooperating with the special counsel. The counsel is now probing contacts between Gates, Manafort, and the lawyer and a suspected operative for Russian intelligence as well. Meanwhile, the wife of fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe went on the record for the very first time, calling last year a nightmare for her family. Remember, she ran unsuccessfully for a Virginia state Senate seat in 2015, now insists her husband did not campaign for her, despite this photo we saw many times that appeared to show otherwise. As for the more than $600,000 she received in campaign money with help from then Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, of course, a close Clinton ally, she says the FBI concluded there was no conflict for her husband because he was overseeing the Clinton email investigation after the campaign was over. Now, in a Washington Post op-ed, she writes, I have spent countless hours trying to understand how the president and so many others can share such destructive lies about me. I want people to know that the whole story, that everything is based on just false and utterly absurd. Now, critics of McCabe believe the ethics findings were off base and that McCabe's real problem is that he had those unauthorized leaks to the media, which were found by the FBI Office of Professional Responsibility, and he lied to investigators. Martha?
Ed, thank you very much. Joining me now, Congressman Trey Gowdy and Senator Tim Scott, both from South Carolina, of course, and authors of the new book, Unified, How Our Unlikely Friendship Gives Us Hope for a Divided Country. Gentlemen, it's great to have both of you here. Thank you so much for being here. Just a quick thought, coming off of Ed's report. First of all, with regard to the McCabes, who have both spoken out now in editorials, they believe that they were wronged by this investigation. Any thoughts on that?
Well, let's wait and find out what the Inspector General people are not inherently objective about themselves, so I get the desire to defend yourself, but let's let a neutral investigator, in this case the Inspector General, issue his report, and then we'll know exactly what Mr. McCabe did or did not do. As for Ms. McCabe, that was a couple of years ago. I don't hear that many Republicans talking about it, so I get the desire to defend yourself, but I don't know what anybody's accusing her of right now.
What about the timeline in terms of, she says, we got the money for my campaign long before her husband was involved in the Hillary Clinton investigation?
That may well be true. He was not disciplined for a failure to act in the Hillary Clinton investigation. He was disciplined for a lack of candor, which could be a lie or it could be a material omission.
Senator Scott, in terms of the widening of this investigation and how far back they're going, it feels like this is largely an effort by Paul Manafort's attorneys to say, you shouldn't be looking into this part of my past. They may have an argument for doing that, right?
Well, it certainly seems like the investigation has expanded, and perhaps it expanded back in August when we now are finding out that the definition of the footprint was expanded. But the reality of it is, if you're a Manafort's attorney, you're looking for a way to dissect the case and find a way to get your client in a better position. The fact of the matter is that being able to investigate Ukraine did not seem like it was connected unless it's a connection of intent with Russia.
All right, we will see. So the book is called Unified, How Our Unlikely Friendship Gives Us Hope for a Divided Country. And I want to read the dedication because I thought this was particularly touching, and I want to share it with everybody. To Artis Ware, Tim's grandfather, who grew up in a segregated South and a polarized world, but who learned to love everyone. His faith and his perspective were transformational. And to Jessie Lee Evans, Trey's grandmother, who shared with Artis a love of South Carolina and a profound faith in God. In the segregated age in which they lived, the two never met. But 2 generations later, their grandsons became the best of friends.
Yeah. It really is a story of progress. So often we find people criticizing the South and South Carolina specifically at the start of the Civil War. The truth of the matter is that the Southern heart has come so far in such a short period of time. And when we were born, we would not have been able to play together, lunch together, drink out of the same water fountain. But 50 years later, the good Lord and the good people of South Carolina have transformed who we are. And that has provided an unlikely friendship to start and then to blossom. So much so that after the church shooting, Emmanuel Mother church shooting, the first person I turned to was Trey Gowdy, a white guy from the very state that has a provocative and yet rich history on race. And it's just a testament to how far we can come if we focus on the things that we have in common. And in Unified, we try to help people understand, while we differ on some parts of law enforcement, some parts of education, spiritually we're in different corners at times. The fact of the matter is, if you focus on the things you have in common, our country, as polarized as it seems today, can still be one nation under God, indivisible, with the best and brightest days of our future ahead of her.
Congress is not all that popular, but people seem to like you too. Because when I tweeted that you were both coming on the show tonight, I got an enormous response. So I think there's going to be a really genuine embracing of wanting to read this story. Why was this story important to you to write, Trey?
For a lot of the reasons Tim just said, but also, Martha, I'm worried about the divisiveness. I like contrast. I like the fact that we don't all pull for the same sports teams or eat at the same restaurant on the same night at the same time. But conflict is debilitating. And I just feel our country being torn apart such that we're not even willing to have a conversation. And Tim and I don't agree on lots of things. It's never interfered with our friendship. We mentioned Democrats by name in the book that we have wonderful personal relationships with. My 21-year-old daughter doesn't agree with me on anything political, literally anything. But they're still our family, so you still have the conversation. And I don't want us to get to the point where we kind of retreat to our own corners, question one another's motives, and then forget the fact we have a lot in common if we just listen to each other.
You know, a lot of people, Senator, believe that the president has led to this divisiveness in the country. What do you think?
Well, I think there are two points of inflection that I think are incredibly important. After the Charlottesville situation, he and I were on very different pages as it relates to the provocative history of race in this country. He invited me to the Oval Office to have a conversation about it. One of the things that came out of that conversation was legislation I was pushing. It was the Investing in Opportunity Act to focus on distressed communities. President Trump said, yes, let's find a way to work for those folks who are stuck and who lack the same opportunities that he had and that I have had. That really has had a major impact, and I think will have a ripple effect throughout this country for years to come. Number two, African-American unemployment has not seen this level, 6.9%, in probably 2 decades, and if I'm right, maybe 3 decades. So the economic policies of this administration have led us to a level of prosperity that we would not have imagined 2 years ago. Yeah. So the truth of the matter is the president has said some things that I totally disagree with from a racial perspective, but he's also done some things from a policy perspective that is undeniably in the best interest of this country long term. And I think a good economy makes a lot of things possible.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Congratulations on the book.
Yes,
I look forward to reading the rest of it. And good to have you both here. Don't be strangers. Come back soon. Take care.
Thank you.
So Roseanne Barr is shaking things up with some huge numbers with the new version of her old TV show. What it might reveal about what's really going on out there in America.
And Jackie thinks every girl should grow up and be president, even if they're a liar, pantsuit on fire.
Plus, Tom Friedman says Presidents Obama, this is his theory, and Bush are just waiting in the wings to sweep in and fix the damage from the Trump administration. We're going to talk to former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski about that and other stuff right after this on The Story.
Why is Old Dominion #1 in customer satisfaction? Maybe it's OD's over 99% on-time rate, or our decades of supply chain experience that support the dynamic digital marketplace. Or because when we promise something, we keep our promise. The reason OD is #1 in customer satisfaction is our people, who never stop working to make your shipping easier. Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clearer skin is achievable after just 4 months, with reduced redness, thickness, and scaliness of plaques. And the Otezla prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Tell your doctor if these occur. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Other side effects include upper respiratory tract infection and headache. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Oh, Tesla, show more of you.
At Safe Flight Auto Glass, we know that when you're spending time with the grandkids, every minute counts. And you don't have time for a cracked windshield. That's why we show you exactly when we'll be there, saving you time so you can keep saving the world.
This is Lobster Fest at Red Lobster, with exciting new dishes like dueling lobster tails and lobster truffle mac and cheese. Classics like Lobster Lover's Dream are here too. So enjoy these 10 lobster-licious dishes while you can, because Lobster Fest won't last.
If you've been diagnosed with cancer and are struggling financially, Life Credit Company can help. With our Living Benefit program, you can receive cash from your life insurance policy now when you need it most. You can use the funds to pay for medical treatments, catch up on past due bills, or just stop worrying about money altogether. There are no credit checks, and you can receive cash in a matter of days. Call 800-864-4600 or visit lifecredit.com.
I'm Proof. Jenny Craig works.
Introducing Rapid Results. Lose up to 16 pounds in just 4 weeks and see real results with a weight loss expert and chef-crafted food. Lose 16 pounds for $16 plus the cost of food and get $100 in free food.
I'm Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm Heather. My name is Julene.
I'm on Match because I'm ready to find my partner.
Looking for a real relationship? I'm looking for a serious relationship. With someone who can grow with me.
Check out Match right now for free.
If you're 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia that can take you out of the game for weeks, even if you're healthy. Pneumococcal pneumonia is a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that in severe cases can lead to hospitalization. It may hit quickly, without warning, causing you to miss out on the things you enjoy most. Prevnar 13 is not a treatment for pneumococcal pneumonia. It's a vaccine you can get to help protect against it. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. You should not receive Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. If you have a weakened immune system, you may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most common side effects were pain, redness and swelling at the injection site, limited arm movement, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, joint pain, less appetite, vomiting, fever, chills, and rash. Help protect yourself against pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13.
So a New York Times columnist, well-known one, now calling on former Presidents Obama and Bush to unite in order to save the country from a constitutional crisis that he believes is coming from the Mueller probe. Take a look.
Barack Obama and George W. Bush have both been staying out of the political fray. Despite all the attacks on them from Trump, is because they understand they are going to have to come together in the face of this constitutional crisis that's in our future and stand up for the Constitution. It's going to have to be done in a bipartisan way by 2 ex-presidents, I think, who still have a lot of credibility. And my guess is they are saving their powder for that.
Very interesting. Corey Lewandowski served as President Trump's campaign manager and is the author of Let Trump Be Trump. Corey, good evening to you. Good to have you here tonight. You know, what is it you think in the Trump presidency? I mean, obviously, this is a very unique presidency. This president acts and behaves in a way that, you know, other presidents simply have not. It's just not the way he operates. But he has definitely inspired this, you know, this sort of reaction, like what we're getting from Tom Friedman, that these 2 former presidents are going to come out of the woodwork and save the country. What do you make of it?
You know, Tom is another one of these geniuses who predicted Trump would never run, and on Election Day predicted that Hillary Clinton, and the New York Times said that Hillary Clinton was going to get, 340 electoral votes, and Donald Trump is on his way to the largest defeat in modern election history. So look, what is the constitutional crisis? The lowest unemployment rate between Hispanics and African Americans ever recorded, a stock market that continues to go up, a president who's defending our border, cutting taxes for Americans and businesses across the country. What is the constitutional crisis? Putting America first? The constitutional crisis is that we're not globalists anymore, that we're unapologetic to be Americans, that this president has said we're not here to be the policemen of the rest of the world, that we're going to protect our own people first. If that's the constitutional crisis that Friedman thinks is in front of us, then he's absolutely right. This president is here to protect Americans, something that maybe he should think about more often.
Yeah, he goes on to say, I feel more strongly than ever, and everything that's happened in the last 6 weeks is a real threat threat to our democracy is sitting in the Oval Office. We have a president who's a disturbed person. This kind of tweeting, this overthrowing of cabinet secretaries is not normal behavior. You say let Trump be Trump, right? It definitely rankles a lot of people, and it's a process. What happened with Rex Tillerson, and now perhaps Scott Pruitt, who appears to be in a somewhat tenuous position.